Hall, and I own a small business in Seattle called Cupcake Royale. I'm a member of the Washington Small Business for Secure Healthcare Coalition. As well, I pay for health insurance for my 72 employees. I'm so proud to be here with you to stand up for health insurance reform. Healthcare costs for small businesses are skyrocketing. At Cupcake Royale, we see 20 to 40% increases every year. We had to respond by switching to less comprehensive coverage, something we don't want to do. Small businesses pay more for insurance than big corporations, yet the majority of us work for small businesses. And guess what's the most profitable segment for big insurance? It's small business. If we're the engine of our economy and the ticket out of the recession, then something has got to give. 25 cents from every cupcake we sell goes to provide health insurance for our employees. This expense line costs more than rent for our 4 Seattle locations, and we're in great locations. That's a lot, but it's the right thing for my employees and it's the right thing for the community. Thank you. If we don't pass reform now, costs will double in the next 10 years. I'm going to be out of business if that happens, and a lot of other small businesses will be gone as well. That's why I'm standing up for healthcare reform in 2009. So let's all stand up. If you agree with me that it's time to lower costs and increase benefits and coverage, I want you to say with me, stand up. Stand up! I'm standing up for reform because in order for small businesses to grow and build the economy, we have to fix healthcare. If you're with me, say, stand up. Stand up! Yeah. I'm standing up for reform because putting the private insurance companies in charge has given us bad choices. Either you pay more or get less. Wait, I know, who am I kidding? Really, you pay more and you get less. To lower costs and keep the insurance companies honest, we need better choices. And that's what the public option is all about. Yeah, it's true. So join me and say, stand up. Stand up! And I'm standing up for reform because when you're paying your premiums, working hard, and playing by the rules, it's just plain wrong for an insurance company to deny you coverage for a pre-existing condition to increase their bottom line. If you want to make the phrase pre-existing condition a footnote in the history books, let me hear you say, stand up. Stand up! Okay, now we're going to talk about scare tactics, and I think we all need to help demystify what's going on here.
Right on, sister.
A lot of people who profit off the status quo are not going to change easily. And there are those who want to play politics rather than look for real solutions. This month, we've seen a fringe minority disrupt town hall meetings and use misinformation and scare tactics to try to derail real health insurance reform. They don't represent a majority of public opinion.
That's right.
They will not win.
That's right.
They've tried to scare us about death panels. Let me tell you about a real death panel.
That's an insurance company.
It's a real death panel when families like the Bennetts and Bailey have to fight an insurance company to save the life of their 4-year-old son. They've tried to scare us with a government takeover of health insurance. That's not true. When Congress gets the job done, you'll have more choices, including keeping the insurance you have or the option of buying into a public plan. And they've tried to scare us that reform will be a burden on the small business. Then why am I here right now? The best thing lawmakers can do to help small business and help us rebuild this economy is to get the job done with health insurance reform. Thanks. just getting back to work next week, and we need to get back to work too. We need to keep up the momentum to tell them to get the job done. If you haven't already done so, take out your cell phone, text the word STAND 94553 and become involved and make a difference, and let's make this happen. Thank you so much.
Come on, show some love for Jodies of the world that keep us all employed. Listen, in the height of the Birmingham Civil Rights Campaign over 45 years ago, Martin King said to folks way down in the heart of what had been the former Confederacy, he said, segregation is already dead, and the only thing uncertain is how costly the segregationists are going to make the funeral. Every progressive movement in this country, whether for workers' rights, women's rights, families' rights, any form of minorities' rights, there was always an angry, defensive, frightened crowd who wanted things to stay as they were. And you know what? They lost every time.
That's right.
Because William Cullen Bryant was right. The moral arc of the universe is wrong, but it bends toward justice.
Yeah.
And the wheels of justice turn slow, but they grind ever so fine. And truth crushed to earth will rise again. And there's an angry, frightened, menacing, defensive crowd. They're so sincere, but they're sincerely wrong. And wrong will give way to right. So the status quo in healthcare is already dead. The only question is how costly they're going to make the funeral. But since, how many of you know with me that the victory's already won and they're already dead? Let me hear from you. Well, we want some of the sincerely wrong folks across the way to know that the victory's already won on this side. So we want to sing to them, to our brothers and sisters on the other side of the street, because they are our brothers and sisters. It ain't but one nation, different opinions, but one nation. So let's just let them know what we already know by saying, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, good. We're talking about status quo. Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, goodbye. One more time. Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, good. Now somebody scream for a change. It's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come. Oh yes it is. Folks, we want to thank you for coming out. If you haven't done so already, shake the hand of the person next to you and thank them for sitting next to you, because you knew you were special before you came, but now you really know because they chose to sit by you. And let's show our good citizenship that we can do things decently and in order, and let's make sure we pick up around us and leave it the way we found it, so nobody can accuse us of being a crazy wild mob. We're just people of conscience on the move who, like a river, will not stop until we find that great ocean of hope out there.